happy Friday. I'm here today. My name is Stacy. I am with the Fredericksburg Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, commonly referred to in short as FAMPO. And today I'll be talking to you about our draft community engagement and equity plan. And the reason for our live stream today is we want to bring your attention to the fact that this is the very last day for public comments on our plan. So why should you look at our plan and give us public comments? That is a great question. We're all super busy, and I realize this is one more thing to add to your list. But if you really like being an active community participant, would love for you to help us ensure that our plan will allow us to effectively reach everyone in the community. We're a transportation planning body for the Fredericksburg region, which includes the counties of Stafford and Spotsylvania, as well as the city of Fredericksburg. And so in order to make effective transportation plans for the long-term good of the Fredericksburg region, we need to hear from you all. So we need to know your transportation thoughts and concerns in order to make plans that meet your needs. And we do this through community outreach. We develop a plan, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, in order to make sure that we have strategies in place that allow us to effectively reach the community and bring your thoughts and ideas into the transportation planning conversation, as well as to make sure that we're taking steps to ensure equitable transportation participation. Let me quickly, you can see my screen, I'm going to quickly in the comment section add a link of what we're looking at. And I can see comments on YouTube and Facebook, so if you're watching this, feel free to drop me a comment. I'll be checking on my other screen, and we'll get to any of your questions. Okay, so what we're looking at currently is the FAMPO website that's dedicated to a new community engagement and equity plan. We've got some really great, simple information here that will help you visualize, as you can see on the right side, or read about our proposed plan. And let me scroll down to the bottom and highlight the different ways you can give us your thoughts on this plan. And I'll show you the plan document in a second, but I want you to keep these things in mind. So as you review different sections of the plan, we'd like you to think about, do our proposed community outreach strategies allow us to effectively bring the community into the conversation? Will our strategies reach you or reach people that you know, or is there some outreach method that we're missing in our plan that we need to add? And we'll get to those more detail in a second. Also, we have a communities partner list, and we'd like some help with making that longer. We need to be able to know about local businesses, local clubs, community activist organizations, so that when we do have important opportunities for community input in the transportation planning process, we know who we can reach out to. Also, there's a small community guide within the plan, and we'd like you to review that and give us your feedback. Let us know, is it confusing? Does it not give you enough ways to participate? So let's jump in right now. And so on our website, it says how to review the proposed plan. And right under here, you can review a copy. Now, don't be alarmed, it's about 60-some pages. You need to read the 60-some pages. Most of it is geared towards staff, meaning this is a staff plan. People like myself working at FAMPO will use this, refer to this, to make sure that when we do outreach, we're doing it correctly. So this is the cover page. Let's scroll down to the table of contents. Just a few sections that will require your attention in order to provide comment is first this right here. Let's highlight this, the guide for the public. So you can click on that, guide for public, page 23. I'll put that also in the chat. Let's do that right now. Page 23. Okay. Okay, got it. Let's get back to this. So if you can just review this, it's a few pages, and it will tell you why your participation matters. Mostly we need you to teach FAMPO, so that's why we call this Teach FAMPO section. Gives you some ideas on how you can be heard by FAMPO. It tells you about your right to learn and obtain information, and it gives you the process of filing a FOIA request, and that's just a fancy legal name for asking us to provide you with public information. So it's a bit more lengthy in this section, so I'd appreciate your comments on this. Let us know if it's just too much information overload, or if it's very clear instructions. A little section about how you can request participation assistance. We want the process to be equitable, meaning if you need certain resources in order to fully participate, to give us your thoughts, to attend public meetings, to serve on our citizens or bike and pedestrian committee, we want to make sure that you know that that is something that we provide, whether it's physical accommodations or translation services. So we've included language in there. Also, virtual participation resources. This is a new section from our previous plan, recognizing that most participation these days is virtual, and I think that's something that we'll see even once COVID is a thing in the past. So we've provided resources for people to access technology resources such as computers, smartphones, as well as free internet or low-cost internet. And then that's it. So just a few pages there for you to read. And again, that is the community resource guide, the guide for the public, on page 23. So let's go back up to the top and I'll show you the other sections that we'd like your input on. Let's see here. Okay, so the staff guide, where's the strategies? I think it's this one. Yes. Okay, so staff guide, that starts on page 26, but you don't have to read through this. You'll see these charts here. So the charts start on page 28. Let me put that in the comments. Charts start on page 28. Okay, and all you'd have to do, this is a really easy way to provide feedback. So we list the tool that we're going to use to engage the public. For example, this tool is social media. We list our strategies here. And then also we note some suggestions here on specific tools, like using Hootsuite. If you guys do social media, you might know what Hootsuite is. So you can just take a look at these. Particularly if you're someone who is familiar with marketing strategies, would really appreciate your feedback here. And just let us know, hey, you're forgetting this kind of tool would be really helpful. Or under equity considerations, we have different age groups, and they use different social media platforms. But our strategies are saying that we're going to use, for example, Facebook and Twitter. Well, a lot of young people are on Instagram, so that might be something you'd comment on. And let's move down in the chart. Our website is a tool we use, so you might want to scan how we plan on using the website. Might want to suggest some interactive features that we don't have on our website that you've seen on other websites and it's been really helpful. We conduct surveys, so you can review our information there on surveys. In-person events, hold tabling events, public workshops, things like that. Try when you're reviewing this to think about if you went to an in-person event such as a fair and we had a table there, what would attract you to our table? What resources would you like us to be handing out? Things like that. And I won't go through the whole chart, but you get the idea here. So tools, again, another one is virtual events. So that is another thing you can comment on. I know some people are more creative than others, and that might be something that you're really geared towards providing comments on. And then lastly, the last section is our list of stakeholders. We're actually going to change this to list of community partners and stakeholders. And that's 55. I'll put page 55. They didn't hire me to type fast. Okay. There we go, in the comment, list of community partners and stakeholders on page 55. This is a super simple way for someone, just 3 minutes of your time, go to page 55 in the plan. You can skip over federal stakeholders, state stakeholders, unless you work for the federal or state government and you don't see your department on here and it would be something your department is interested in knowing about providing comments on transportation plans or staying in the loop. So feel free to add that if you want. But what most people will be able to add to is our, is our major employer education and community services stakeholders. And we would like to be able to be more specific about this, such as social services departments, public school system and private schools. So perhaps you are familiar with these groups or perhaps you work for them. If you have more specific contacts, it doesn't have to be a person. It can be the Office of Public Outreach for the school or for the social services department. We'd really like to build this list and make it more specific. Let's see. Community partners. Down here, we're looking for local businesses here, and you're going to recognize some of these, but perhaps there's a place that you frequently go to, and if there was a flyer up at this business or organization, that might catch your attention. So if you see some place, or if you know of some place that you frequent, it's not on this list, send us a comment, let us know to add it. Also, clubs. If you belong to any kind of community organization that frequently gets together, has meetings, shares news, whether that's a virtual club or in person or somewhat of a hybrid during these times, let us know, because we'd like to be able to have a contact with you. We're not going to send you daily or weekly emails. It's going to be more so monthly. Here's some meetings. Here's what we're working on. You might be interested in commenting on this. That type of thing. Local media as well. One thing we don't have on here is a Spanish media outlet. If you know of any, we've searched and we can't find any. That's really unfortunate, but if you know of a radio station or a local newsletter that is geared towards Spanish-speaking populations, would love to know that. Send us a note, give us the name. Also, if there's a media outlet that you get your news from quite often, even if it's a social media one, let us know and we'll add it to the list. We want to be able to make sure that we're reaching as many people as possible with opportunities to participate. Bicycle and pedestrian stakeholders list. Those are going to be the clubs, also environmental advocacy groups, again, clubs. It can even be informal. It doesn't have to be a formal thing such as the Sierra Club or Tree Fredericksburg. So if you belong to any of those groups or you know about them, please send us a note and give us the name and we'll add them to our list. And that's pretty much all I have for you today. Let me go back to the main webpage. Again, I put this webpage in the comment section. Go ahead and review it if you have time. The clock is ticking though. You've got until midnight tonight. Staff won't actually review the comments until Monday morning. So if over the weekend you really need to submit last minute things, we will be reviewing those as well. But we really would like to have them in by today at midnight officially. There are several ways that you can send your comments in to us, and we've got a section here on how to comment. If for some reason you don't have regular access to the internet and you're watching this now, but later tonight you won't have that, there is a phone number here, and we'll put that in the chat, and you can give us a call, tell us your concerns. Feel free to leave a voicemail. We close at 4:30 today, but we'll be checking our voicemails. And let me go ahead and copy this phone number over into the chat. Okay, that is now in the chat. Great. And again, there's other methods here. You can actually text our email address. A lot of people don't know that you can do that. That's actually something recent we've learned how to do. So let me also put that over in the chat because I realize people might not watch this whole thing. I would not recommend mailing your comments in because, again, we have an official deadline of today to receive those comments. And as you all know, the mail is not that fast. Let's see. Text comments too. There we go. And you can also, of course, use that email address to email us your comments. Let me take a quick look at my other screen, see if we have any comments coming through. we actually do. Let's see here. I'll pull this up. So this Facebook user lets us know that over 2,200 people in our region have signed paper and online petitions in support of a new north to south parallel road. Okay, that is great to know. And this is a really good example of how citizens and residents can comment on our transportation plans and provide our committees with feedback. I know this particular commenter has shared this information. They've actually given a presentation to our committees. So that's another way that you can be involved and influence transportation decisions. This comment really isn't relevant to the community engagement plan, but it is a really great example of how you can provide comments on our actual transportation plans as opposed to our community engagement plans. And we really do value these types of comments and suggestions and ideas from the public. I know it's frustrating when you send in, you know, particularly this person, they have extensive research they've done and presented it, as I said, to our committees, and they'll get a response, but the ball is not rolling. And that's just the way government is. As you know, it's slow to move, funds are scarce, and the biggest thing, you have to get regional cooperation. So you need your local elected officials to come together and cooperate and agree that yes, this is the best way to spend money to benefit the region as a whole. So just recognize that those are the challenges when you do submit public comments. Is we read them, we consider them, we present them to those who actually make the final transportation decisions, but it can be frustrating at times. But just know that you are being heard, and we do value your comments, and just keep submitting them. You know, you can keep bugging us. Oftentimes we can provide quick responses, such as people will ask us questions about bike and pedestrian trail extensions. What's going on with that? When's that going to happen? Is there funding for it? How could we get funding for it through grants? So those are things that we can provide you immediate information on as well. Let's see. See if any other comments. I don't think so. That might be our only one. Thank you so much for that comment. That is actually a really great example of community participation and how we would like community outreach to go. We let you know we're here to listen. You provide us the feedback. So happy Friday, everyone. We're going to sign off here. I really appreciate you tuning in, whether it's live or you're checking this out later in the day. Again, public comments. Get those in by midnight tonight or at the very latest this weekend. We're going to review them. Your public comments on this community engagement and equity plan will be used to tweak it. If you point out some issues with it or you have additions to it, we'll be reviewing those and revising the plan as needed. The final step in this is after we get all public comments on June 21st, the FAMPO Policy Committee, who makes the final decision to adopt this plan, they are going to vote on that at their June meeting, June 21st. I think I might have said July. So you can attend that meeting, and there will be opportunity for you to comment directly to the policy committee as well about this plan before they vote to adopt it. So if you have any kind of major concerns or you want to voice your support directly to them, again, you can always send us written comments or call those in, but we do give you the opportunity to directly address decision makers. I'll show you real quick how you can find out how to attend that meeting. So at the top of our website, you'll see committees. Policy committee is the first one. That is the decision making committee. And you'll click on that. And we will sign off after this, I promise. Okay, so policy committee page is loading. You're just going to scroll down a little bit. It'll say meetings. It tells you how you can join the meeting. Because of COVID, we're asking for virtual participation at the meeting. If that's a problem for you, just please reach out and let us know, and perhaps we can find a solution. So again, that's going to be Monday, June 21st. That's when they'll be formally adopting this plan, and you have an opportunity to attend. The public is always welcome to our committee meetings, always, every single committee meeting, and you're always welcome to give public comment. But on the 21st, we would ask that if you attend, that you voice your support for this plan or you express your concerns directly to the committee members. If you can't attend the meeting, again, send us your comments through email, through phone, through text. Thanks for watching.